Hello and welcome to Winchester Now, our look at news and happenings from around the area this week. I'm Mary Blaxland. Today, an appeal for people to get their autumn COVID jab to help the NHS this winter. And Santa Claus is coming to town.
Winchester Radio.
More than 600,000 COVID jabs have been given in Hampshire and the Isle of Wight as part of the autumn vaccination programme. But doctors are urging those who've yet to receive their jab to come forward before the programme winds down. It's currently available to people over 50 years old, as well as pregnant women, carers and those under 50 who are considered higher risk due to health conditions. Many people in Winchester will have had their vaccination at the Badger Farm Centre. Staff there have given out 93,000 jabs since it opened early in the pandemic, including 17,000 this autumn. It recently closed, but other places remain open. Dr Matt Nesbitt is a local GP and clinical lead for the Hampshire and Isle of Wight vaccination programme.
So across Hampshire and Isle of Wight, we're really pleased with how the autumn vaccination programme's going. We're about 100,000 short of giving 5 million vaccines over the course of the 2-year programme. So overall, the vaccine programme's going really well. We'd still like to be doing even better. And if people have been invited for a vaccine, I'd really encourage them to come forward and take the opportunity to protect themselves and their families over the Christmas period.
There is some concern that maybe people have got a bit of vaccination fatigue, having had so many jabs already. Is this a concern to you? Do you think why people aren't coming forward?
I think a lot of people are thinking that they've had a couple of vaccines, that maybe they've had COVID as well, that life seems to be returning to normal. But of course, just like with other infections, our immune system weakens over time. And so it's really important to keep our immunity topped up by having boosters if we're eligible.
And how long can people have the booster for? We're talking about an autumn vaccination project, but what happens after this?
So we're really keen that people take up the opportunity of a booster if they've been invited over the next few weeks. From the middle of December, it will still be possible for people to obtain vaccines, but our vaccination programme is going to reduce in size and some of our vaccine centres will go into hibernation for the winter. So we're really keen for people to take up the opportunity before the middle of December.
And each year we hear about the winter pressures facing the NHS. How much of a concern is that this year, in particular with COVID and with flu?
I think we'll all know people who've struggled to get GP appointments. We'll know people who are on waiting lists for hospital operations or procedures. And the best way that we can help our GP surgeries and our hospitals manage those pressures is to take up the offer of a vaccine. Across Hampshire and Isle of Wight, we have 245 people in hospital with COVID. By taking up the offer of a vaccine, we reduce our chances of ending up in hospital. And that means that those beds can be used for those important procedures that people are waiting for.
We've obviously talked about the vaccination programme, but what else is happening in the NHS to prepare for winter?
As you'd expect, we have a programme of work across Hampshire and Isle of Wight to prepare for winter. And that work focuses not only on our GP surgeries and our hospitals, but on working more closely across our health and social care system. A lot of your listeners will have heard about pressures in social care and being able to get people out of hospital. And we think it's by that closer working that we'll be able to improve things for people.
And obviously the message is if people haven't had that booster to go and get it, there are still places. Badger Farm might have closed, but there are still places people can go and get that booster.
Absolutely. We know that we've got capacity across our system in Hampshire and the Isle of Wight to help us get to that 5 million. And it would be fantastic if your listeners can help us get to that target. We've got a helpline which people can call on 0300 561 0018. We'll be able to help you find the nearest place that you can obtain a vaccine through ringing that.
And you must be very proud of the staff who've gone to a lot of effort and worked very hard to make sure all these vaccinations are done in time.
I'm enormously proud of not only the clinical staff who've been giving the vaccines, but also all of our admin and back office staff without whom none of this could have happened. And also the volunteers who've helped us with managing car parks, with moving vaccines around, the volunteer drivers. It really has been a team effort and it's been fantastic.
Now here's Josh with a roundup of other news in the Winchester area this week.
Staff at the University of Winchester have been striking this week as part of a national walkout conducted by the members of the University College Union and Unison trade unions. Across the country, more than 70,000 staff members at 150 universities have been taking part in the November strikes, which had been declared in aid of a pay rise in line with inflation and soaring prices. The University of Winchester's Student Union also came out in support of the strikes earlier this month. Winchester Hospice have announced the details for this year's Light Up a Life service. All Saints Church in Highcliffe will host this year's event on December the 4th, in which members of the local community are invited to share a dedication of a loved one alongside a donation to the Winchester Hospice charity. Reverend Mike Griffiths will deliver the service that will also feature the dedications as well as readings and carol singing. It will also be available to stream online. Hampshire County Council has invited the community to give their opinions on changes to the school's admission system in time for the 2024 to 2025 school year. The full list of plans and proposals are now available to view on the Council's website, where you can also find out how to have your say up until December 30th. And both of the senior men's sides at Winchester Rugby Club are now in the top two of their respective leagues following successful action last weekend. A 45 points to 17 win away from home at Petersfield saw the first team go ahead of local rivals Eastleigh, while the second team saw off Ventnor at home, racking up 36 points to the opposition's 3.
Winchester Radio. Now, thousands of visitors have already flocked to Winchester to visit our Cathedral Christmas Market. Many have come on coach trips from across the UK and many more are expected. So we thought we'd find out exactly how far people had travelled to visit our historic city.
It's my birthday today and I told my dad I wanted to go to a Christmas market, so he's brought me to the Christmas markets.
And how far have you come to be here?
We're from Bournemouth, Dorset, so yeah, really excited. I've heard it's really good.
Where have you come from today to come to the Christmas market?
Just from Bar End Road.
So you're local. What is it you like about the Christmas market?
The spirit of it is quite nice. All the different mixture of things they've got.
It's just that sense that like kind of Christmas is around the corner, and especially like today where it's just a beautiful, quite cold day, but with all the brilliant sunlight, it's just a really nice thing to potter around. And it's nice, obviously all the visitors come as well and get to see it, especially after the last couple of years of the pandemic where things have been quieter. It's just a great thing to have, and I think especially being around the cathedral, it's just such a pretty part of Winchester.
Coventry.
And what's brought you all this way?
We came last year with a group of friends, and so we've come back this year with our partners.
You must like Winchester to come all that way.
Well, we like the historical part, so we've done the tour of the cathedral and we've just done the walking tour of the old town, and so we've just finished up at the market and we're going to find a coffee.
About 100 miles, I think. I've come from Shropshire and I love coming to the market every year.
What makes it so special to bring you all that way?
We have to come here because it's one of the best
we're
markets.
From White Parish.
There aren't many Christmas markets as good as this one.
Ringwood, but my relatives are coming from Rayleigh in Essex. We organised this months ago because they've never been to the Christmas market.
Yeah, what are your impressions of Winchester, Christmas at Winchester?
Fantastic.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Yeah, lovely town. Yeah, loads of historic things to see.
I think it's an absolutely beautiful place. You know, everything about it it's just so pretty, and it's got all that history to it, which makes it even better, you know?
So worth coming a long way for.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So we're from Devizes in Wiltshire. Yeah.
What makes you come all the way to come to Winchester Christmas market?
I think I'd never been before, have you?
We're on a Women's Institute outing. We had a little coach trip out.
And what do you think of Winchester market?
Oh, it's been lovely. Yeah, really nice.
Worth coming all the way for.
Yeah, oh definitely, and it's such a beautiful day. So lovely.
Well, visitors to the Christmas market can also enjoy the premiere of a show retelling the Christmas story. Looking for a Star has been written by a local playwright and is being produced by Churches Together in Winchester. There will be 7 free performances of the half-hour show on the community stage. I went along to their rehearsal to find out more. Warming up with a carol before rehearsals begin, just a few days before the first performance of Looking for a Star at Winchester Christmas Market. It promises to be a light-hearted retelling of the Christmas story with carols and comedy. It was the idea of retired Methodist minister Howard Mellor.
Well, of course, we've had the market in Winchester around the cathedral for, 10, 12 years, something like that. And last year, for the first time, there was a stage there. I thought, wow, wouldn't it be wonderful to bring the story of the Nativity and its wonder and mystery into the midst of the Christmas market. And so that's exactly what we're doing.
And what's it going to be like?
It's a story, a retelling of the story from the perspective of the shepherds. So it's kind of a twist to the story, really. It's quite interesting.
And what message do you hope people will take away when they're watching it?
I hope that people kind of enter into it. There's songs, carols that they can join in with, but that they might just think again and think, oh, wow, yeah, this is just more than lights and tinsel and turkey, there's some real meaning going on here. And that would be great.
Cool, so let's just resume our previous position and I'll go from that line.
The work has been written by local playwright Philip Glassborough, who also wrote the Winchester Passion Play in 2008. It's loosely based on a medieval mystery play. Emily Pacey is the director. How is this different from other ways we've been told this story?
So we're looking at it to be fun and a bit humorous and a bit energetic, but also coming at it from kind of a colloquial and down-to-earth understanding of it. So people, hopefully, will be able to access little bits of the story, and then that will lead them into maybe exploring faith through their own church somewhere closer to them.
And a lot of work has clearly gone into all of this. Tell me a bit about that.
Our writer Philip has written a whole new script for this. So this is new material. We've had weekly rehearsals, whether that's singing or acting, and the costumes and the music is all coming together, and it's been a very fun process to put together.
Good gentles all, we have a play for you. Though our tale be old, 'tis ever new.
Imagine we're a band of players, brave and bold, who've come to Winchester in days of old. We bring a tale of merriment and cheer to brighten up the wintry time of year.
So my name is Neil, and I am playing a troubadour, which is a storyteller, and one of the angels.
What does your role involve?
So we are a travelling troupe of medieval troubadours, and we've come to Winchester to tell the Christmas story. And then I double up a bit later on as the angel Michael. I get to sing a song as well, a solo, which is great, in the middle of all the carols that we're going to be singing collectively with the audience as well.
And is this a different way of telling the story that maybe people aren't used to?
I think so, yes. It's actually based on another character, a guy called Mac, who steals a sheep. I won't give too much away, and he ends up witnessing the birth of Jesus. So it's definitely being told from a different angle. But all the familiar characters will be there: the wise ones, the shepherds, Mary and Joseph. They all are part of the story. So.
And what's it like for you to be part of this?
It's a real privilege. Yeah, I live in Southampton, but I often come to Winchester for the Christmas market each year. So to now have an opportunity to stand up on the stage and perform there. I was part of the Winchester Passion way back in 2008, and so it's great to be back here working with some of the team that put that on for Christmas this time.
These be our friends to help tell the story, shepherds, of course, and from the realms of glory, angels, most holy visitors from above, that bring tidings of great news, God's love.
The half-hour play involves performers and musicians from local churches, the Chesil Theatre, the Hospital of St Cross and Winchester Cathedral. All 7 performances are free. And what do you think it'll be like performing in the Christmas market? What do you think that atmosphere is going to be like?
I think it's going to be exciting, to say the least. The Christmas market is such a staple of Christmas in Winchester, and it is full of light and full of amazing sounds and smells. In my mind, it really encompasses the Christmas spirit. So I think it's going to be a colourful and a vibrant experience.
And those performances will take place on Sunday the 4th of December at 3 and 5:30 p.m, Friday the 9th at 6, Saturday the 10th at 3:30 and 6, and Sunday the 11th at 3 and 5:30 p.m. Time now for our shout-outs on Winchester Now, a chance to thank volunteers and staff who've made a difference to our lives. Here's Anna.
She has dedicated over 40 years of her life to volunteering in our local community, responding to need and actively supporting carers and people with learning disabilities. So our first community shout out this time goes to Janet Kierkia, whose drive, commitment and volunteering efforts were marked at a special This Is Your Lifestyle presentation at a recent celebratory gathering organised by local charity Winchester Go LD. The charity, which works to support adults with learning disabilities, had members along with staff and volunteers on hand to lead tributes and recount the many ways Janet has helped them and the community over the years, including helping set up the Wessex branch of the National Down Syndrome Association in the 1980s and the local special needs activities and play schemes in the 90s, and also helping establish a number of carers groups and charities, giving people a voice and a space to come together and gain valuable support. Well done, Janet. You are so appreciated for all you do. And we love the fact that the team presented you with a Wonder Woman t-shirt too, with Go Janet on it. Our second community shout out is for Hampshire-based charity No Limits, who provide information, advice, counselling and support through a range of services available under one roof for children and young people. At the recent annual Children and Young People Now Awards, No Limits won the Gold Award in the Mental Health and Wellbeing category for their mental health model. It supports children and young people with their mental health who don't meet the criteria for support from the Child and Adolescent Mental Health Service or who are on their waiting list. The CYP Now Awards recognise and reward innovative and outstanding practice in supporting disadvantaged children and young people and helps families to lead happy, healthy and successful lives. So congratulations, No Limits. Park Run reached a double landmark this week, hitting 50,000 events in the UK and 100,000 events worldwide for the first time ever in a calendar year. So our final community shout out this week is for all the volunteers who make park runs possible each weekend, including here in Winchester, where this week they welcomed 14 first-time park runners to the 325 participants. A number of those involved also celebrated milestones at the latest Winchester Park Run. 10-year-old Feddy Cunningham, who has now completed 50 park runs, and Winchester Park Run event director David Watson, who ran his 250th park run. Winchester Radio spoke to David about his involvement and what he loves about Park Run.
I've been involved as long as I've been in Winchester, which is around about 8 years now. For me, it's community. It is an amazing atmosphere. It's quite unique, particularly because it's free. It generates a really warm, welcoming feeling, and many people have commented to me that they don't find that anywhere else in life, because usually there's a cost, there's a price, there's some sort of obligation, but with Park Run there's not. It's just come along, be involved and have fun.
Feel inspired to have a go? Walk, jog or run. If you've never done it before, register online at parkrun.org.uk and get yourself a scannable barcode to take part. It's fun and it's free.
Winchester Radio. Finally today, the sound of jingle bells and a ho-ho-ho could be coming to a street near you. The Round Table Santa Sleigh is taken to the streets this week. It'll visit 16 routes across the city between now and the 19th of December. I headed out to catch up with the sleigh and meet Sleigh chairman Tony Blunn.
So Tony, we're standing somewhere very special to do this interview. Tell me a bit about where we are now.
We're in the North Pole, or a barn, which is in a local storage area where we keep the sleigh throughout the year.
And this sleigh is really quite special, isn't it? Really quite spectacular.
Yes, it's been the product of many years of people's input. This particular sleigh's been operational for about 4 years. The sleigh has a PA system, so we can play Christmas carols. It has lights, sort of feature lighting, and it also has a snow machine at the back, which the kids really like.
Tell me about Father Christmas as well. When does he arrive? What are his preparations in the week leading up to the sleigh going out and about?
Yeah, so Santa, it's a very busy time of year for him. He'll be helping prepare the sleigh and make sure everything's ready for the routes ahead. And he has lots of elves that will help prepare and make sure we've got everything we need.
Tell me about some of the upgrades the sleigh's had this year.
Yeah, so this year we've made a few upgrades. The reindeer have a new set of antlers that they've grown throughout the year that are looking splendid. We're using a battery actually this year, so hopefully most of the route we can power with battery in replacement of a petrol generator, which was obviously cleaner and less fumes for people who are walking along. We've got some great sponsors that have supported us this year. Got Belgarum, we've got Carla Holmes, Mint Signs also, and we've also got Blade Bikes and Tesco.
Of course, this is also raising money for a lot of charities as well, isn't it?
Yes, so this year we have 21 different charities and special causes we're raising money for. We normally have 1 to 2 charities collecting on each night. We have 16 routes this year. At the end, we hope to raise in excess of £10,000, which we'll be able to share equally amongst the charities.
What sort of reaction do you get as you go round?
Yeah, the whole of Winchester really get behind the Santa Sleigh event. I think year on year it's gaining more and more momentum. I think it's just one of those things for people in their diary. They all come out onto the street, or some of the younger kids, are at the window and they are all sort of waving at Santa. A lot of kids like to follow the sleigh and get covered in snow.
That must be fun to see.
Yeah, it's great. It is a really great event, spreading sort of Christmas cheer.
And to find out the Sleigh's route, visit winchestersantasleigh.co.uk. That's all for today. Many thanks for listening.